All right, so let's get started. On the first step of your dream catcher, you're going to need your string and you're going to need your brass ring. The first step of making a dream catcher is to create a texture over your brass. If you only made it over your brass, it would actually slide around. This is really smooth, as you can tell. So what you're gonna do is you're going to basically string and loop your string around and around and around. So to get started, what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab your string. It's actually embroidery thread. You're going to knot it, wrap around it, and you're going to knot. And let's do that a few times just to make sure it's nice and secure. I'm gonna do one more. Pull nice and tight. All right, so now what you're gonna do is using one of your fingers, you're actually going to hold down this part because as you can see, it will slide around if you don't leave it in the same spot. So I'm going to leave this string and I'm gonna hold on to this and I'm going to loop around. I would loop around at least 3 times. It's nice and tight and I'm pulling it in. Pull it all the way through, go slow because if you go too fast, what's gonna happen is you're gonna knot your thread and you're gonna have to cut it and you're gonna have to start over again. So I'm gonna loop around and I'm pulling it. All I'm doing is pulling the bottom string. Pull it tight, pull it over, lock it in. Wrap it around. You guys might find that you might have to do this a few times to really understand how to keep it in place. You might go around in circles and then all of a sudden you look back and now you're stuck because now the entire string is gone. That's why it's important to start with at least 3 knots. Make sure it's nice and tight and you're always holding on to it like I am here. Pull it all the way through, loop, and then pulling that string. So it goes all the way through. If you don't feel comfortable looping it more than once, you can loop it 1 time. So go in, around, and then pull it through. All right, so you're gonna finish this. You're gonna go around the entire thing. This might take possibly, it's gonna take at least 2 class periods to do this. So when you're done with it and it's nice and taut or tight, and maybe the period already ended, what you're gonna do is you wanna keep this tight because if not, you're gonna wind up unstringing it and it's gonna get everywhere. So you're gonna use your clothespin to lock it in place. You can do something where you pull it down and wherever that string was, you utilize that little dip that you see right there to sandwich it in. And what that will do is it'll keep it in place, okay? So like I said, you're gonna continue going around and around until there is no more. So now the next step, that's when you are going to create that web design on the inside. So once you have this entire piece done, you're going to end it with those 3 knots again. You might have some frayed edges that are left, just leave it, it's okay. Because once you start weaving and you lock it in tighter, then we can trim it at a later point. So for now, finish this, and then once you're done, we can go ahead and move on with the webbing for the Dreamcatcher.